Good day once again, ladies and gentlemen. This is the last example on the topic or heading named focal date of an account. We are closing the focal date of an account, and we have dealt with the different examples, and there are still exercises that you need to revise. I might record one or other two exercise, I think 3 to 4 exercises that I've highlighted to be important for recording in preparation for task number 2, or the what was supposed to be the March exam. Now I have went through the basics of the focal date of an account, and I'm not going to be starting on that introduction, because almost every example that I dealt with I went back to the theory where it says we always need to calculate the future value of the amount that was borrowed or invested, depending either it's a borrowing or it's an investment of money. Then after we calculate the future value of the amount borrowed or amounts that were borrowed, we then need to calculate the future value of the PMT. Remember, PMT indicating payments. That means, or payment. That means if there were payments or there was a payment that took place. So now we need to calculate the future value of those payments at the same future time. And it is the same future time. Then after, we strike the difference between the future value of the amount that was borrowed and the future value of the payments that took place. And that was those were the popular scenarios that we dealt with previously up to example 3.12. But now we come to example 3.13, where there's a slightly different, but the concept and the basics still remain the focal date. Now it says Mr. Jones invested 25,000 rands with a bank, and this 25,000 was invested at 9.5% per annum, which is interest that is to be earned is 9.5% per annum, and it is compounded on a monthly basis. And we know that when the interest is compounded monthly, that means we are going to earn interest on the capital plus the accumulated interest 12 times a year. So we are further told that after 15 months, that means at the end of the 15th month, he added 10,000 rands in the account. That means he invested an additional 10,000 rands in the account. So we can say that there's 25,000 that was invested, and there's 10,000 that was also invested 15 months and down the line. Then after, it says if the interest rate during the period or did not change throughout, therefore now we are to calculate the following. So now that means during the entire period, which we so far don't know, this gentleman earned the interest of 9.5% per annum. Therefore now we are required to respond to the following question based on the information that we know so far. It says we are to calculate the interest that is earned at the end of month 20. And this is very important to highlight, because we are not required to calculate the interest from month 1 up until month 20. We are only required to calculate interest for 1 month, which is month 20. Therefore now, if we need to calculate the interest for month 20, that means we need to know the balance a month before month 20. I want to repeat that. We need to know the balance at the end of the month before month 20, so that we are able to calculate interest on the opening balance of month 20, because every month earns interest from the balance that is available at the beginning of the month. So now that means we need to calculate the future value of this investment at the end of month 19, which is the beginning of month 20. That means we need to know the closing balance of this amount of the investment at the end of month 19, which is the beginning of month 20. Then after, we'll be able to calculate the interest that is earned only for month 20, which is 1 month. What is important, we need to know the balance at the beginning of the month we want to calculate the interest for, or we want to know the balance at the beginning of the period we want to calculate interest for. And I think the word period will be very important, because sometimes you might not be required to calculate interest when only the interest is compounded monthly. Interest can be compounded quarterly, and you are required to calculate interest at the end of the given quarter. So now that will mean you need to know the balance or in the account at the end of the previous quarter, beginning of the current quarter, so that you are able to calculate interest for that one quarter. So now that means we can now go to the sentence at the bottom that agrees with what I'm saying, just emphasizing what I've stressed to you already. To say interest at the end of month 20 is calculated on balance in account at the end of month 19. That means we need to know the balance of the account at the beginning of month 20 or at the end of month 19. Remember, closing balance becomes an opening balance from financial accounting point of view. Therefore, compute the future value at the end of month 19. So now that means our focus is the future value at the end of month 19. So if we need this future value, we first need to know we invested 25,000, and this 25,000 will be in the account for 19 months, because we need the future value at the end of month 19. And 10,000 was borrowed at the end of month 15. That means it will be in the account months. It will earn interest in the account from month 16, 17, 18, 19, because we need the future value of the two investments or amounts that were invested up to the end of month 19. So now that means we then need to say, what are we looking for? We're looking for the future value and month 19 and month 19. That is what we are looking for. So now if that's what we are looking for, we then need to say 25,000 was invested. Remember, once again, we are using the formula, which is the calculation of the future value, which is sum accumulated. And I highlighted that formula at the beginning of the compound interest. And I'm sure that you've been listening to this audio in the chronological order of the subject guide or the notes that you have. 25,000 open brackets 1 plus 0.095 divided by 12, all to the power 19. Remember, in this case, we have a period of less than, of just in month, not less than a year. It is more than a year, but we are dealing with months. So now this will be 19 months. Remember, if you were given in years, it could be more complex, because we have to say 19 divided by 12, which is a decimal years. But if this was 1.58 years, 1.58 years, and we are calculating the focal date at 1.58 years, we'll still have to say 1.58 years times by 12, and when term as our n, remember, is m times n, and m times n will give us 18.99, which is 19 at the end of the day. But I don't want to go there because of the decimal issues in this scenario that we provided. So we calculating the focal date or the future value of the investment at the end of month 19. So now how do we do that? We say in your calculator, financial or non-financial, 25,000 open brackets 1 plus 0.095 divide by 12 close brackets to the power, meaning second function deep, that will be 19, and this gives me 29,000. I get 29,040 rands 76 cents. This is the future value of the first investment amount, which was 25,000 at the end of month 19, which is a month before the month that we are required to calculate interest, or at end month 19, which is the period just before we are required to calculate the interest for the next period. I want to say period because the period will be more perfect in this scenario. Now 10,000 was invested again after 15 months, and we are focusing on the future value at the end of month 19. So now if an amount is invested at the end of month 15, that means it will earn interest for month 16, month 17, month 18, and month 19. So that means our N will be 4 months, meaning will only earn interest and it will be compounded only for 4 months. Therefore, now we need the future value of that amount also. Then we say 10,000 rands, open brackets, 1 plus 0.095 divide by 12, close brackets, second function dipped or to the power of 4. It doesn't matter how you write to the power, depending to which calculator you are using. 10,320 rand 45 cents. So now this will be our future value of our both investments, plus 29,040.76. So now this gives us a total future value of 39,361 rand 21 cents. So this is the future value of this investment. Now that this is the future value, we then need to calculate interest. We then need to calculate interest, and interest will be the balance at the beginning of the period, 39,361.21. Remember, this is just like from simple interest. Simple interest, you say the amount that you have, multiply this by the rate 0.095, and you multiply it by the term in which you want to calculate that interest. In this case, we are calculating interest for 1 month out of 12 months in a year. Remember, we always take it from a year point of view. So now that means because the interest is per annum, that is the main reason we say divide by 12. This is per annum and there are 12 months in a year. So now our interest will be from that 39,361 rand 21 cents times 0.095 equals times by 1 over 12. So we get 311 rand 61 cents. 311 rand 61 cents. That means this is the amount of interest that will be earned, or that was earned at the end of month 20, meaning only for 1 month. This is the amount of the interest that will be earned for the month 20 only. So now we have responded exactly the way we're supposed to have responded to this first question. Then now we need to go further to the second question. But before I go to the second question, I still want to highlight the importance of the financial calculator, because it is very important for one to master and understand how to use this financial calculator. Now, if you want, you can still be able to calculate all this using the financial calculator, but I'm not going to be focusing on that. Otherwise, you can use all the functions of the PV and your interest, and to calculate the future value of this investment. Now, I just want to record this amount here aside the future value at the end of month 19, because I will need it, but because of limited space, I need to clear everything. So we have a balance at the end of month 19, which is 39,361 rand 21 cents. This is how this has been calculated. And I just want to bring another perspective to your attention in the same scenario, which is not required in this case, but it's just another way. In fact, you can calculate this question. If we want, we could have said, how much is the balance, how much is the future value of this 25,000 at the time the 10,000 was borrowed. That means if we want to, we can calculate the future value of this 25,000 up until end of month 15, when the 10,000 was invested, not borrowed. When the 10,000 was invested, or when an additional amount, which is 10,000, was invested, we can say future value of 25,000 at end month 15. Then when we get that future value, we add it to 10,000. Then after, we calculate now the future value for the two amounts. So that is another way, but I think there are scenarios of that nature when we deal with the annuities. I don't want to go now in details on that, but be prepared for that different dimension also when you see it in the memorandum. Now let us then now continue on that same note. This 39,000 will be erased now, which I don't want it to be erased. Then let me try to have it somewhere there. 39,361.21. Hope it will not be erased when it's on that side. Thank you very much to my technology. So now we are required to calculate the final amount in the account at the end of month 36. Remember, we already know that the 39,000 that we have is at the end of month 19. I want to highlight that the 39,361.21 is at the end of month 19. So now we need to start in month 20 up to month 36. That means we have to say 36 minus 19. Remember, we don't need the 19th month because this is the balance at the end of month 19. So we want to start in month 20. Hence, we exclude, or we deduct the 19th month, the 19 months from month 1 to month 19. Because we already have the future value at the end of month 19. We need to start earning interest and calculating the future value from month 20 up to month 36. So now if we say 36 minus 19, it will give us 17 days. That means we need to calculate now the future value of this investment for the 17 months, the future value of this investment for the next 17 months. So now we do the same thing. We say our sum accumulated. I just want to say sum accumulated because this is sum accumulated. Please don't forget that, which is also our future value. Don't forget. Our future value is equal to the amount we have currently, which is 39,361.21, open brackets 1 plus 0.095 divide by the number of times the interest is compounded in a year. And if it's compounded monthly, that means it will be compounded 12 times in a year, because every month will be earning interest. And this will be 17, which is 36 minus 19, meaning our end there on top will be 17. So now let us look at the future value of this investment at the end of month 36. Then you say it will be 39,361.21, open brackets 1 plus 0.095 divided by 12, close brackets, to the power of 17 month. So now this will give us the future value as 45,007 rand 72 73 cents. So now this will be our final amount in the balance. Remember, I'm not using this calculator because it does not have the function for me to say to the power of something, but I'm sure you're very clear when it comes to that. In the sharp calculator, if you need the power, you say second function deep, then after you press the amount. So this is the balance that will be in the account at the end of month 36. With that, guys, you've been wonderful. Thank you very much. This was the last example, and now next one you have to go and revise all the exercise on the focal date of an account, and those they continue on page 25 and up to page 26. Do as many of them as possible, but I would say do all of them and repeat them and master them and get your 100% in this subject, because it is easy to do so. Thank you.